Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria DeVette, and also welcome me back to my channel. It has been so long since I have posted a video. Thank you guys so much for your comments and your messages to me on Instagram, checking in, telling me that you missed me and you missed my videos. It means literally so much to me, and I am so happy to be back. I posted my first YouTube video almost exactly a year ago, and my second YouTube video that I ever posted was the Too Faced Pumpkin Spice palette, which was their fall release from last year. So I think it's just absolutely fitting that I am coming back to my channel with the Too Faced Cinnamon Swirl palette, which is this year's fall release, along with the Melted Matte lipstick in the shade Cinnamon Bun. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the swatches for the palette and lipstick now, and then we'll get into the look, and I will give my thoughts on them afterwards, as well as talk a little bit about how they compare to last year's palette and lipstick. Okay, so let's get started.
Let's run away and leave this city. Let's run away and break new ground. Let's run away and leave this city. Let's run away into the sun. Breaking out. Breaking out. Let's run away and leave this city. Let's run away and break new ground. Let's run away and leave this city. Let's run away into the sun. Let's run away and break new ground. Let's run away into the sun. Let's run away and break new ground. Let's run away into the sun. I'm sick of daydreaming, I just want the feeling of you in my bed. I'm down to just waste time right below your waistline. Want you by my head. I'm done with all this FaceTime, need some alone time, baby. You're always running in my mind. I'm sick of daydreaming, I just want the
Okay, so I've already done my eyebrows. I'm gonna go ahead and start with primer. I am going to be using the Milani eyeshadow primer. And I'm gonna start by taking the shade Cinnamon Roll, which is this like terracotta brown. And I'm using a E27 brush from Sigma. And I'm going to take this on the inner portion of my crease. And I'm just really packing it on there. And I'm just taking it to about the center of my crease. Kind of blending up just very lightly as I apply it. Now on the fluffy side of a Anastasia Beverly Hills brush, I'm going to take the shade Lick the Spoon, which is like this pinky peach matte. I'm going to kind of take that on top of that previous shade, but also kind of start to kind of soften up that harshness. With that first shade that I applied, the Cinnamon Swirl, you can see where I first applied it, it really is dark. So I should have gotten a little bit lighter, I think, with that. Now I'm going to kind of create a cut crease. So I am going to take some concealer on a flat rounded brush. starting it pretty high. And I didn't take it all the way out. Now, the first shade in here that caught my eye is the shade I'm Toasted. And it's this beautiful orangey, like burnt orangey shimmer. It just screams like pumpkin and fall to me. So I'm going to be using that one for the main portion of my lid. I'm not going to take it all the way onto the inner corner. And I have to mention, the palette smells so good. It smells like a holiday candle. And I'm not gonna take this all the way out either. Okay, and for the inner corner, I'm going to use two different shimmers. I'm going to start with Luv The Bun UR. It's this like orangey gold shimmer. And I'm just blending it in to that I'm Toasted shimmer. And you can see there's quite a bit of fallout with this one. It's like a very crummy, and I don't mean crummy in a bad way, I just mean crummy, like actually crummy shimmer. And then right directly on the inner corner, I'm going to take just a little bit of Gooey Goodness. You can't really tell in the pan, but it is kind of like a two shift. It's kind of like a yellowy gold with like a little bit of pink. And I'm just gonna take that right on the inner corner, just for a little extra. For the outer corner, I'm gonna take the shade Batter Up, which is the darkest shade in here, just this deep chocolatey brown. And I'm just taking this at my lash line. And creating a bit of a wing with this shade. I'm gonna clean it up later, so I'm not worried about it being too messy. And to blend this out a bit and to kind of fill in this gap, I'm going to take the shade Me Rollin, like an orangey brown. I'm going to take that right on top of the Batter Up. Start to work it towards the center, meeting that I'm Toasted shimmer. And now to blend this section here, I'm going to take the shade Lick the Spoon, which is the one that I used to blend this intersection. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the other eye really quickly. I'll be back to do my face. Okay, so for my face, I am going to be using the Ilia True Skin Radiant Priming Serum. And for foundation, I'm going to be using the Forever Skin Glow from Dior. And this is in the shade 3W. It's a little light for me right now because I'm pretty tan. So I'm gonna be adding a little bit of this Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate Soft Radiance Foundation. This one's pretty dark for me. It is the shade Sepia. So I'm just gonna add like one pump of that to the Dior. Now for concealer, I'm going to be using the Radiant Creamy Concealer from NARS, and I am using the shade Sucre d'Orge. I don't know how to say it. It is the medium dark 1.5. And I am going to drag this underneath to kind of clean up that outer corner wing. And I'm going to be using this Shape Tape Contour Concealer in the shade Rich to add a little bit of contour. And I'm going to be using this cream blush from Tower 28. It is the Beach Please Power Hour. I have been absolutely loving this blush this summer. Okay, and to set my face, I'll be using the e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powder, and this is the shade Medium. I just picked up this setting powder. I'm really liking it. For bronzer, I'm going to be using the Ilia Novelty Night Light Bronzing Powder. This has become my new favorite bronzer. It literally is so nice, and a little bit goes a long way. Because it's fairly matte, I also like to use it to contour my nose a little bit. So I'm using this like angled fan brush from Luna Magic, and I just grabbed a little bit of the bronzer on my brush. Now for highlight, I have been loving this Glowdient makeup palette from Touch in Soul. It is the Pretty Filter Glowdient makeup palette. So it comes with like a gradient of highlights, and I kind of just brush along the first four. Okay, so now I'm gonna finally move on to my lower lash line. I do want to play around with these pinks and purples on this bottom row. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab Food Court, which is like this purpley, like magenta almost. And I'm just gonna take this right across the lower lash line. And this is kind of similar to what I did last year with the Pumpkin Spice palette. So it's kind of a little homage to the start of my channel. And I'm kind of just fading it into that wing. And on the outer corner, I'm going to take this dark purpley shimmer and just focusing it on that outer corner of the lower lash line. And just because I want to use as many shades as possible, I'm going to take Sticky Fingers, which is this pink shimmer, and I'm going to connect the inner corner to the lower lash line with this shade. Okay, so now for mascara and lashes. For mascara, I'm going to be using this one from Huda Beauty. I'm not really sure the name is rubbed off, but it's the double-sided one. So one has like a thicker wand and the other one has a more curled, thinner wand. Okay, for lashes, I'm going to be using these from the House of Lashes Sephora collection. They are the Amelia lashes. Okay, so now for my favorite part, lipstick. I'm going to show you what it looks like without any lip liner, and then I think I am going to add a lip liner just because it's a pretty light nude, at least on me it will be. And of course, this also smells amazing, like a holiday, like cinnamon candle. This is how the lipstick looks on me without any lip liner. I think it's a really pretty nude. I think this shade would look good on many skin tones. If you've followed me for a while, seen my other videos, you know that nudes aren't necessarily my favorite. I do like a little bit more on my lips, so I am gonna add a lip liner just to kind of add some dimension. This is a really pretty nude though, because it is kind of like pinky mauve-y a little bit, and it's not too light like their sugar cookie one. This one is a really light lipstick. That one I only like to use in the center of my lips to kind of add like a gradient. So I'm going to start off with this lip pencil that is very close to the Cinnamon Roll lipstick. It is the shade BFF2. It is a lippy pencil from ColourPop. And to add a little bit more definition, I'm going to take the shade BFF3, which is another lippy pencil from ColourPop. It is much darker. I'm also going to focus this on the outer corners. And then I will fill in my lips with the Cinnamon Roll lipstick. Okay, now I'm just going to set my face with the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. Okay, and this is the finished look using the Cinnamon Swirl palette and the Cinnamon Bun Melted Matte Lipstick. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about them. Starting off with the palette. Now, just like every year, people are curious about how it compares to the previous year. So I do have the Pumpkin Spice palette with me. So the Cinnamon Swirl is on top and the Pumpkin Spice is on the bottom. I think they are similar, but I think they're also different. I think there is a little bit more color variety in the Pumpkin Spice. The Cinnamon Swirl is a very tame color story, I would say. It's very warm, kind of neutral, aside from the purpley, magenta, and the pinks. And with the Pumpkin Spice, you have some greens, some yellow, more purples and pinks, and of course the oranges and browns. You can pretty much expect the same Too Faced formula in this palette, but compared to the Pumpkin Spice, I actually think that they're slightly improved. I mean, personally, I can work with the Pumpkin Spice formulas. I think they do have great blendability and pigment, but I think the Cinnamon Swirl palette is just a little bit better when it comes to blendability and pigment. There was some fallout with one of the shimmers that I used. It was just a little bit crumbly. I had no trouble blending any of the matte shades that I used. I did try to use a good amount of these shades in here just to kind of get an idea, and I really enjoyed working with this palette. I did see some comments that the Cinnamon Swirl palette reminds people of the PB&J Too Faced palette. I don't have that one, but just looking at the pictures online, this does look very similar. It looks like a more developed version of that palette. But something that I always love with the Too Faced products is the scents. I think they do a really good job with the scents. I don't think they're too overpowering. They have a really good amount of scent, if that makes sense. So overall, really liked this palette. I think it's a really good everyday palette, especially if you lean more towards neutral looks. So moving on to the Cinnamon Bun lipstick. I'm not sure if this is a new color or if they've had this one before in any of their holiday collections, but I do have the Pumpkin Spice one here to kind of compare it to. The Pumpkin Spice is much more orangey. The Cinnamon Bun color is a very pretty nude. I think it's a nude that can be used all year round. And of course, the formula of the melted matte lipsticks is just so nice. It's probably one of my favorite liquid lipstick formulas. So I'll go ahead and compare the two shades for you here. I already did a swatch of this one earlier, but just so you can see next to the Pumpkin Spice. So let me know what you guys think of the new Too Faced releases. If you guys are planning on picking these up, if you're gonna pass on it, let me know in the comments. Also, let me know if there are any other holiday or fall releases that you guys are looking forward to. Natasha Denona just released her new retro palette and I ordered it, so hopefully I can do a look and review of that one soon. And that is all for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember that you are loved, you are seen, and you are beautiful. If you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.